Oh dear. What if? Let me say, I had a what if video for last week with Captain Carter, but it didn't upload, so I'll have to get the audio transferred over again. We'll try again, but this is the new what if, which is billed as what if T'Challa was Star-Lord, but let's just be honest. What if Star-Lord was black and everybody there in Hollywood hated Chris Pratt? That's what this is. This is, oh my gosh. I am so disappointed that their idea of what if is not to change a major plot point, but to change gender with Peggy Carter becoming Cap, and now this, because this just wrecks the Black Panther mythology more than helping him become greater as Star-Lord. Like, why would T'Challa and the story of Black Panther be downgraded to be Star-Lord? This just makes like zero sense. So here we go. I've got it up on the screen. We're going to go through a couple things. So there's your shot of the new Star-Lord, right? So Star-Lord is basically, we're picking up in Guardians of the Galaxy. This version of Star-Lord shows up and steals the little ball. It's got the Infinity Stone inside, right? Turns around, meets these guys. They show up just like in the movie. Nothing's really changing. It's like, I'm just an ordinary junker. Turns around, blah, blah, blah. I'm Star-Lord. Steps into the light. You can see it's T'Challa. And, oh, wait. I'm a huge fan of your work. Blah, blah, blah. So, wait a minute. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. What? Okay. So, what has changed? Oh, okay. So, the story is going to go that T'Challa's version of Star-Lord is Black Robin Hood. He goes around. We're gonna get through the story, and he's a do-gooder. And this guy is a fan and doesn't want to fight, but then makes an excuse because Ronan is so terrible, right? It's just, I don't know, man. I was so put off by their lame universe just twists and turns so rapidly that I don't understand what okay, let me slow down, I guess, and we'll just kind of get into the movie and kind of go through the show, at least just for a minute. Okay. All right, so here we have Karath, who he catches Star-Lord. They don't want to fight, but they're going to have to fight because Ronan is so terrible. Blah blah blah. Let's fight. He's going to show them. Well, they're going to have to fight, so they go ahead and do their fight. Of course, he's amazing. He can't get hit. We go through all that. Then he electrocutes him, of course. Now, here's the funny part. It's so stupid. This is such crappy writing, right? Oh, we knocked the one guy out, and now we're going to shoot. So we're going to reenact some scenes. We're going to get through that. He comes outside. He's like, you may know me. Well, he saves the guy. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. This is the silliness of this. So Karath actually says, I want to work for you guys. Like, I'd rather be a Ravager. So how do I apply for a job? And then he just basically has got him over his shoulder there. And that's Karath hung over his shoulder. It's going to take him as he's going to become a Ravager now. Okay. So we're going to fast forward through this. And then there's this cheesy Q Yondu with the arrow. They get the Infinity Stone. And then we kind of have to explain to the audience. We're 6 minutes in, by the way, with our intro. And then let's just flash back to 1988. And we're going to explain how on earth did T'Challa end up out there. So here's baby T'Challa. He's a little fella. T'Chaka says, listen, stay in the yard, kid. Don't go outside the yard. We don't do that. The humans are terrible. The men are terrible. War, war, war. Wakanda just keeps to ourselves. We do our thing. We're isolationists, basically, right? Then, in order to move the story along and explain how on earth he could get abducted, he's throwing his spear. Here we get to the right shot. Throws the spear, but the spear goes through the dome. You can't get in the dome, but you can go out the dome. T'Challa just runs out the dome. We don't explain any devices or anything like that. Anyway, this is when the Ravagers show up for the kidnapping. Now, what's interesting here is it's very human-centric. Like, we just grabbed the wrong kid, basically. Like, this is not the right kid. right? So they're like, all humans look alike to me. Yeah, no racist overtones here. And then they make some good jokes. All right, Sean Gunn's character's all right. He's fine. It's like, you got one hole here, whatever. So basically, the Ravagers trekked to Wakanda because of the vibranium meteorite. So they figure, well, that was the most otherworldly thing on Earth. So that's why they did that. And he says, well, I want to be an explorer. He says, well, why explore your world? We can explore all worlds. So this is how T'Challa gets kidnapped instead of Star-Lord. At this point in the story, we do not address the fact that Ego, who hired the Ravagers to get his kid, to get Peter Quill, completely allows all of this to transpire into the present. Just keep that in the back of your mind. We'll get to that again later. So their new future in this alternate universe, and we fast forward to they're all in their little club, sitting around having a heist. They're going to plan their next heist, right? And there's Taserface. I don't think he's ever called Taserface, right? So telling war stories over Black Robin Hood, right? We're going to have all that happen here. And then exactly, how did you stop Thanos? Oh, yeah. Thanos was stopped because Thanos admitted he was wrong. He was such an awful person that T'Challa, as Black Robin Hood, Peter Quill, Black Star-Lord, basically is a do-gooder that this convinced Thanos, don't destroy half the universe. You can make resources. We can reallocate universes resources. Well, Thanos, this is a joke, right? So Thanos is with the Ravagers now. This is his joke. And basically says, yeah, that's what I did. And the best weapon in your arsenal is a good argument. And he says, I assert my plan is not without its merits. And it's a joke that just keeps on giving and giving and giving. Pretty still is called genocide. Yes. So Thanos is relegated to a Ravager. And since it's the Peter Quill universe, right? Thanos is not a bad guy. We got to jump over here for a minute. Yep, that's Drax. Drax, he's a bartender because his wife and daughter didn't get killed by Thanos, right? So let's rewind. Black Star-Lord changes the universe by being Robin Hood. I'll get everybody. I'll negotiate with them. I'll talk them down. So basically, this is like the Loki therapy session, right? If we had just talked to Loki about his feelings, he wouldn't have engaged in the New York invasion. It wouldn't have become the Loki monster that we saw through multiple films. He just become a different kind of Loki. He was nice. He was all right, I'll help y'all out. If we had just sent T'Challa to talk to Thanos as the Robin Hood, listen, don't use the stones to destroy everything. Just reallocate everything. I don't know that Marvel understands that they're creating heroes and anti-heroes and villains to tell stories of heroism. This is what we've got. This is what if in their universe. Now, Drax is a bartender. All right. And then this is Nebula. So Nebula, because Thanos is not a crazy madman, didn't take her apart and rebuild her as a half robot. So she's this hot chick. Yeah, kid you not. She's this hot chick, right? So she's allegedly hiring them for a gig. And they're basically going to steal, I kid you not, a terraform power item, basically. It's basically like an environmentalist dream. We're going to turn this into, we're going to steal something that can transform plants and make it environment. So that's what this is about. Okay, we're going to steal these magic crystals. That's their gimmick. They got to sell the story to the group. Here is Yondu, and the story goes, listen, we can't go out there and take on the Collector. And I don't know about you, but I'm thinking, the Collector? Yeah, wait till we get to that. Well, the Collector, here's where he is. Remember that from Guardians of the Galaxy? He's there. That's where the Collector is. So we got to fast forward to the Collector. Right? Let's get over here to the Collector. Oh, this is more how they break in, all the different tricks. Let me get to the right shot. Yes, the Collector. So the Collector, or this is Benicio del Toro's character from Guardians of the Galaxy. He goes around the universe and he collects these solo items, and he wanted the Infinity Stone. That was the whole point, right? So that Star-Lord and the group was going to deliver the stone, and then, of course, everything derails. Ronan shows up. So we have we're halfway through What If in their universe. If T'Challa had thrown his spear through the dome and gone outside, he could have gotten abducted by the Ravagers and basically become the intergalactic Robin Hood, convinced everybody to just be nice through talk. So he's converted all the Ravagers to be nice. They're better off that way. Thanos never becomes a madman, right? So Nebula never gets made into a crazy hybrid cyborg, and Drax is a bartender. Well, wait for this. All right. This is Howard the Duck. We got to have Howard the Duck's help because the Collector has like a million little boxes and cubes. So the Howard the Duck that makes a little cameo in the credit scene for Guardians here is used by T'Challa. So Marvel's trying to introduce Howard the Duck, right? So Howard the Duck becomes relevant, gets let out of his cube. Here's the lockdown because that is Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro looks like he's had some gamma radiation, and he's a Hulk, and he knows how to manipulate all these different items that he's accumulated, and they're onto him. The secret twist here. So he's holding the stone, but the place goes on lockdown, and I didn't mention it, so let me back up just a shot here. They come up next anyway, so it doesn't matter. I can go forward. Let me find out where they are. So basically, because Thanos is not the villain, right? Thanos is not the villain. The Ebony Maw and all of them, Proxima Midnight and all of them, they all work for the Collector. So that's what we're going to set off. Well, T'Challa, he finds out that he's been lied to by Yondu, and that there's the Wakanda ship, right? The family is not dead. No one killed Wakanda. It was all just a lie to keep him as Robin Hood. So similar to like the Peter Quill thing, like not telling about who his dad was, that kind of thing. That's a little bit of what they're going for, but it's pretty weak tea, right? So here's the message from the dad to T'Chaka, trying to say, listen, we love you, man. Come home. All right, but it's all set up. We're going to get him in jail. They're in jail. There's going to be some bonding time. We don't have Rocket. We don't have Groot. We don't have anything interesting. We just have this. We have Thanos instead of Rocket and Groot. You got a couple of the knockoffs here. It's Taserface, right? So then you got to have your face off. So let's get over here to the Collector. And so they're going to have to battle. And it's a triple cross now, right? Because it's going to be so-and-so to so-and-so to so-and-so up to kill them all, right? So they're busting them out. Nebula isn't double crossing. She's double crossing the double cross because we can't write linear stories at Marvel anymore, evidently. We have to write twists upon twists upon twists because aren't we cute and with the unexpected? Yeah. So it was all a scheme. It was all a thing. And she's triple crossing, whatever. Didn't know about the Wakanda thing, but she's got the little plant virus thing. She's got the little, so she's happy. He uses his little necklace from Wakanda. Now it's a claw. Boom, he's out. He's free. They got to fight everybody. Yeah, so here we go. Go to big takedowns, big fight scenes. The Collector comes into play, and that's it. So T'Challa just is like a one-man army, just takes out everybody. Now, the Collector has these cool shots, which are basically fan service of here's the one using Hela from Thor Ragnarok, has her helmet thing. There's a shot of Cap's shield in the background, some other weapons, different things like that. It's just fan service. Basically, the Collector is this superhuman creature that's holding his own. Thanos, of course, tells them all to go ahead. He's going to stay behind to fight. And, of course, he's just squashing these small people. He's taking a shot here. He's taking a shot there. But he's just taking everybody out because he's, quote, he's mad. Get it? Mad Titan. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, T'Challa and them, they're going through their fight. This is the Ravagers are trying to get away. T'Challa and has gotten the Collector to monologue for a minute. And yeah, we're going to just kind of move things quickly and put him into a little box. Put him in a little box. Yeah. So, okay, remember the girl that gets vaporized? She's like the Collector's assistant. They leave her in charge. He's in a little box. He basically just opens it up, turns all the creatures loose to kill him. So you got dark elves and frost giants. You got also everybody converges on the Collector, so he dies a horrible death. And then you got, father, son, Yondu and T'Challa, who's now Star-Lord. It's all sweet and cupcakey nonsense. He's thinking about Earth. He can go anywhere. He's going to go to Earth. So you flash to this shot where he's walking up, and you see some of the stuff. He's coming home to Wakanda, right? The Ravengers go to Wakanda. This is their alternate universe. If he threw a spear through the disc, through their dome, this is what would have happened, and he would have been Robin Hood. He's the intergalactic hero. Black Star-Lord he's known everywhere. Let me introduce you to my family. And he says, "Glad to meet you. Your son is a galactic hero." Right? That's how this is all going to go down. Meanwhile, I don't want you to forget, there's Peter Quill. Remember that guy? What would have happened to him? So what happened to Peter? So Peter didn't get abducted. Nope. He's listening to his headphones, working at Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen. These Hollywood shills are so superficial that they can't stand that this guy in real life is not a crazy leftist Democrat like them. I don't know that he's really Republican or a Trump supporter. He's just not part of it. He's a Christian and has alienated himself from this group being so radical. So therefore, any chance they get, they dump on Chris Pratt. They did it with Tomorrow War. They'll do it with more things in the future. They did it in the comic books where they twisted the character and out of the blue, I think they made Star-Lord gender fluid. And here, I kid you not, what if Star-Lord, so we could call this, what if Star-Lord was not abducted? He would have become a Dairy Queen worker. I kid you not. They said, well, Chris Pratt didn't come back and do the voice, I don't believe. I think he was one of the ones that didn't. Yeah, well, why would you? You're the Dairy Queen worker. There you are. Kurt Russell shows up for his spot. Hey, I'm your dear old dad. Yeah, I'm a god. I'm showing up, in 88, and it was going to be, so it's like, 15, 20 years later, Peter, I want to interrupt you from sweeping the floors and mopping the floors. It's Dairy Queen because I'm a god. It's like, oh my gosh. So it's not what if something had changed in Guardians of the Galaxy, the plot had been different. Like what if Ronan hadn't showed up, or what if Thanos had gotten the stone then? What if the Guardians hadn't come together, or Groot and Rocket had done this? No. We're not going to have plot twists. We're just going to say, oh, T'Challa, he would have been like Black Robin Hood. He would have been like so amazing that would have been good enough. And the whole universe would have been changed. Like we would have had Thanos, and Nebula wouldn't have been rebuilt, and the Ravagers would have just been nice. They're basically the merry men. And yeah, Peter Quill. I mean, he would have worked at Dairy Queen. Am I supposed to take this show serious? Is this what we're supposed to do? Is this is the new Marvel? This is Phase 4, right? It's if we just talked to Loki, he wouldn't be a monster. If we had just talked to Thanos, he wouldn't have been a monster. If we put a chick's head on a dude's body, could have been Captain America, and Black Star-Lord would have saved the universe. That's what we're told by Marvel now. That's it. That's what they expect us to like. This is JV writing. Oh, whoa. I forgot the best joke of the whole thing. I'm not going to rewind the show. So there's a joke. Yondu's talking to T'Challa about being, Robin Hood. Well, they used the line once. He goes, oh, like that folk hero of your culture. And he says, Robin Leach. I kid you not. You make a Robin Leach reference. I don't know what universe. Let me verify the writer of this episode, because this is horrible. Robin Leach is, lifestyles of the rich and famous. And I asked a coworker who's in their late 20s, and they had no idea who Robin Leach is. I'm trying to get to the show writer for this episode. Yeah, this was terrible. Like, you didn't make a Robin Williams reference. You didn't want to try to come up with something that, like, I don't know, most of your audience could. Robin Leach, like, who are you placating to? These people are just terrible. Oh, geez, I don't know. I can't find it. It's just, nothing's user friendly with these people. It's just so frustrating. There it is, Matthew Chauncey. Matthew Chauncey, what have you done, Matthew Chauncey? I know I'm getting a little long, and I don't, it is what it is. I want you to get the full effect of some of the insanity of who this person is. Google's changed all of their stuff. It's just so frustrating. Can't you just leave it alone for 2 seconds? Why do we have to go and change everything? I'm guaranteeing this guy probably has little to no experience. Very little. Let's see. Oh, here he is. He's on Twitter. Gotta be on Twitter. All right. His credits are Three Below, Tales of Arcadia TV show. He wrote 8 episodes for that. And then he got this gig with Disney. Yep. That's what you got. Yeah. And he writes Instagram, mostly of emails and some Instagram captions. Okay. He says all politics. Dude, why don't you promote your show that came out today? Why do I have to list on all this nonsense? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. He hasn't really been on here much, so I guess I shouldn't be too crazy. But it's like, oh, these people. This is just unbearable. It's just unbearable. Okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you loved it. I don't know. I sure can't stand it. But hey, I'm just Pops. So tell me what you think. Bells, buttons, and whistles below. Appreciate your time.